The 80-20 rule in investigative interviewing is a core principle that states the interviewee should speak approximately 80% of the time, while the investigator speaks only about 20%. This imbalance is intentional and reflects the fundamental purpose of investigative interviewing: to gather information, not to provide it. The more the witness speaks, the greater the opportunity to obtain a complete, accurate, and unfiltered account of events. At its core, the 80-20 rule is about maximizing the flow of information. When witnesses are given space to speak freely, they are more likely to provide a pure version of events, often revealing details the investigator did not anticipate. Overspeaking by the investigator can interrupt this process, introduce assumptions, or unintentionally signal what answers are expected. In some cases, excessive questioning can even contaminate memory, or lead the witness to align their account with the interviewer's framing, rather than their own recollection. The investigator's 20% is therefore used strategically rather than sparingly for its own sake. It consists primarily of open-ended prompts such as, "Tell me about that," "Walk me through what happened," or "What happened next?" These prompts guide the conversation while still leaving full control of the narrative with the interviewee. Minimal encouragers such as, "I see," "Go on," or simple head nods also fall within this 20%, reinforcing engagement without interrupting the flow of information. Occasionally, the investigator may briefly paraphrase or summarize, "Let me make sure I understand," to confirm accuracy and invite clarification. Maintaining this balance requires strong active listening skills. Active listening is not passive. It involves continuously processing the logic, sequence, and consistency of the story while it is being told. Nonverbal behaviors such as eye contact, nodding, and a calm posture signal attentiveness and encourage continued disclosure. Just as importantly, the investigator must suspend judgment and avoid forming conclusions too early, focusing instead on understanding the narrative from the interviewee's perspective. Silence is one of the most effective tools for preserving the 80-20 balance. People naturally feel discomfort in silence and often respond by elaborating further, adding detail, or correcting themselves. When an investigator allows a pause to linger instead of immediately filling it with another question, it often results in deeper and more complete disclosures. This expectant silence can be more powerful than any direct prompt, as it places the responsibility to continue speaking back with the interviewee. However, applying the 80-20 rule also requires managing deviations in communication style. Some witnesses may become overly verbose, offering irrelevant detail, or shifting into side stories. In these cases, the investigator must carefully use their limited 20% to gently redirect the conversation without shutting the witness down, for example, by saying, "Let's focus on what happened at that moment," or "Can you bring me back to the key point?" This ensures that wrapper and narrative flow are preserved while keeping the interview aligned with its objectives. Ultimately, the 80-20 rule is not just a conversational guideline, it is a credibility tool. It is far more difficult for an individual to maintain a fabricated account when they are required to sustain a detailed narrative than when they are simply responding to structured questions. By allowing the witness to dominate the conversation, the investigator gains valuable insight into consistency, detail level, and behavioral shifts, all of which contribute to a more reliable and defensible assessment of the evidence.